Welcome to the 13 Comics of Halloween.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of 13 Comics
Comics
of
of
Halloween. Today we are doing Marvel Zombies. I don't know if this. I don't know if this series, like, people know it anymore. Like, when I was in the comic book store, this was like a giant thing because it came out of nowhere and everybody liked it a lot and it was really fun. But, like, I think this flew under the radar when it first came out, and then everybody saw it was written by Robert Kirkman, who did The Walking Dead. And then they were like, wait a second. And then they read it, and it was fun. And then it became really big. Because I remember number one of this sold out real fast. And there was like $40, $100, like, for number one. And then I was like, fuck yeah, sell that. And then, So, I don't know if people talk about this one anymore, though. Like, I haven't heard much. Like, it doesn't get brought up that much.
Yeah, that's true. You know, the thinking about that too is like they haven't really touched on any of this as far as like outside pop culture. So, I mean, I think they're starting to do like the Funko Pops of them, but
Are they?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
they just started doing the Funko Marvel Zombie Pops. But in general, besides that, like, I mean, they never made an animated movie for this, and they've just done so many animated of like all these major events.
Right.
But yeah, this was pretty big.
It's kind of like a little side event, though, because it's weird, and we'll kind of get into this. The history of this and how it happened was because, so it actually stems from a storyline that was going in Ultimate Fantastic Four.
That's right.
And so I think because it was part of the Ultimate Universe, it doesn't get as much play in the real universe or whatever of Marvel.
Yeah, maybe.
Whatever that universe is called. What's the real Marvel universe called?
I don't remember.
You don't know? Okay. I know in DC it's like DC Prime or Earth Prime is, the normal one, and then like
Earth 626.
yeah, whatever. Something like that. That's something else. That's But yeah, so this one is like we said, it starts in Ultimate Fantastic Four. So if you really, really like this and you wanted to go back and like see where it came from, you can read Ultimate Fantastic Four. I think it's like the last. It's like issues 26 through 32 or something like that. It sets up this whole story arc where Reed Richards gets like a message from another dimension, and it's like, "Help us out, buddy! It's me. It's like I'm you from another dimension. I need your help. Two brains are better than one, or whatever." And then like, and he's like, "Oh, I must help these people." And so Reed Richards gets the Fantastic Four, and they like make this dimension portal with the help of the guy on the other side, the Reed Richards on that side. And then when they get there, the world is like fucked. And like it's actually a zombie world and they were tricked.
Yep.
So it's like a really cool offshoot. And no one knew when this came out that that's what it was. Like I just bought it randomly, I think, because I worked at the comic book store. But I was like, oh, this is fun. This is like directly from one of my favorite runs on the Fantastic Four. So, and I think that was written by Mark Millar too, the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I think
Ultimate
Fantastic
stuff.
Four.
Yeah. So good writing on that part. And then this was written by the king of zombies, at least comic zombies, Robert Kirkman, who created and wrote every issue of The Walking Dead, which recently wrapped up this year. And at the time, this was like peak Walking Dead. This is before the show, but it was peak comic book Walking Dead. So it had got all its accolades. It was riding high. It was probably on like issue 32 or something like that. Like right in the sweet spot where everything was great and people were really liking it a lot. Like I said, this was 2006, so a good year for zombie comics, I think. And yeah, but anyway, so like I said, starts off in the zombie world. Like the Fantastic Four is already here, and we see Magneto, who is one of the last
few non-zombies in this world.
Yes. And he's like, it worked. Like, I trapped them in this dimension because basically what was going to happen was zombie Reed Richards and the rest of the mutants and heroes that are now zombies were going to use the portal that good Reed Richards from Ultimate Fantastic Four invented to bring everybody into our world or Ultimate World and make them zombified. So basically Magneto blew it up and was like, it worked. They didn't get to go through. So But now all the zombie superheroes are pissed off.
Are pissed.
Yeah, and I should say, like we said, this is Robert Kirkman writing, and then the art is by Sean Phillips, who is kind of, I mean, he's been around for a long time. I mean, he did some of the run of the Hellblazer, like later stuff that we read before Garth Ennis.
Oh, nice.
He was one of the guys that filled in. So I mean, he's been writing comics or drawing comics for 30, 40 years or something. So
I love all his art here. There's a couple panels I'm going to talk about specifically.
Yeah.
I want to mention the cover artist too because I only because
Pseudonym.
Arthur Sidem.
Yeah, Sidem. That's what it is.
I got to meet him a couple years back. He was really cool, and he was talking about like literally like taking those classic covers and doing the zombified redo of them, and it was just really cool the way he did it.
The covers are like of Amazing Fantasy 17, which is like the first Spider-Man appearance. I think it's 17, and which is like Spider-Man flying around the buildings with his Steve Ditko outfit on. But this was like him transposing zombie version of Spider-Man in that scene or whatever. So
and all the covers are like that. I always that's obviously the first things that catch you, and all of these are fantastic for at least the first trade.
Yeah,
of these.
If you can't tell, me and John were really big fans of this when it came out. So I gotta say, like, this is like right when we were all hanging out, reading comics, doing stuff. So I was like, oh, you gotta read this. It's fucking awesome. And zombies weren't as played out as they are now. So
and we're like, oh man, we could do zombie everything. I think it's a great idea.
It's a great idea. Cut to 10 years later. I'm so sick of zombies. But yeah, anyway, so Magneto's like left by himself now. We don't know where the Fantastic Four from the Ultimate Universe are, but they're not in this area where Magneto is now surrounded by zombie superheroes, and it's every superhero. It's Wolverine. It's Captain America, Daredevil. Thor, Daredevil. Yeah, everybody. Nova.
Yeah,
just everybody. Everybody you could think of. Moon Knight, just everybody. And so right away they're like, we're gonna eat you, and he's like, no, you're not. And he just the whole town or the whole city of New York has crumbled. So he just like uses magnetic powers to shoot bolts and metal and shit at everybody that was just around, like scrap, iron bars and stuff around. He even like Captain America tries to attack him, and he throws his shield. He's like, really, a metal shield at me, Cap? And he like makes the shield go backwards and chops off the top of Captain America's head.
I lived you like that.
And then like they know right now because of that, okay, you can't kill him like a normal zombie, like they don't die. So, but yeah, they're all like disintegrating and stuff too. Like as they're fighting, like the legs are falling apart and
Spider-Man's like leg breaks in half.
Yeah, he's like, oh man, come on.
And like he's still quippy.
He's still quippy. Yeah, that's pretty funny. But yeah, so basically Magneto's on the run from these guys. He's doing his best, pretty much staying away from everybody. And then he gets like a message from Reed Richards with like, hey, we're up here on like the satellite. I think what is it, asteroid or something they're on? I can't remember the name of it, but it's some like asteroid or spaceship that Magneto like had them come to or whatever before. And so they're up there safe, and he's like, okay, good. At least they're safe.
Yeah, he's basically like, no, he's like, do you, they want...
Oh, Asteroid M. That's
yeah. They're like, do you want us to come get you? And he's like, not right now. Like, I'll radio silence, and I will talk, because he's being hunted actively.
Yeah, he has no time to sit there and stop.
He's like, I will call you, and we will rendezvous such and such here shortly or whatever.
Yeah, and then while he's just finishing up that conversation, the son of a bitch Hawkeye... Zombie Hawkeye shoots him with an arrow right in his damn chest. And then he cuts off, he actually uses Cap's shield to cut off Hawkeye's head, which was fun, I thought. But now he's hit with that arrow, and he's kind of numbered, you know what I mean? Like, and then also we should say, oh, Hulk is in this too, like as a zombie and everything. It's really crazy, like the amount of powered people that are in this, and how he writes them is great. Like now that they've caught back up to him, everybody starts attacking him again, and it seems like he's kind of weaker in this than he is in other times.
Yeah, because usually, what did they call that? The Omega level?
Yeah, or the whatever level.
He's supposed to be like one of the most powerful, like not like mutant Marvel characters of all time.
Yeah, and I think it just feels like maybe he's older, or maybe his powers have been dried out, or like drained because of
he's
how
been
much he's
fighting
been
so
using
much.
them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
he
feel like
he
that's
doesn't
what it's
seem
supposed to be.
quite as on it as other times.
But he's still his cocky self, because that's part of the thing I love here. Like, because so like they're coming at him, and he's still like using all the rubble around. Every time he gets attacked, he's like, "You think you could stop me?" And he like throws the stuff through him, and like they're not dying, but like Daredevil like gets a huge like bar
Beam.
through it,
Yeah,
beam
like
through
a
his
s-
chest,
yeah.
and he's like, "Well, damn it." You
Yeah,
know?
yeah, a steel girder. I can't walk. or
Yeah,
whatever.
and Hawkeye gets his head chopped off, and I think he takes the arrow and like out of him, and then reuses it and like flies it towards another one of the.
I think it's Thor.
Thor.
He
Yeah,
hits
it's
Thor
right.
in the neck.
He hits
Yeah,
Thor in the neck.
and so yeah, another thing, Thor talks like his old self, like how dost thou do this or whatever,
Yeah.
like and
That's hunger for flesh.
yeah, exactly, and so yeah, like we said, Magneto's all cocky. And he's like, "Do you really think you could defeat me?" As he's like beating all these people, and then you just see little Wasp fly up, and it's Wasp, but she is a zombie, and then she becomes big all of a sudden and takes a chunk out of him. So she bites him, and he's like, and then I like this because Hank Pym says, "Yes, I thought it was a pretty safe bet that we could beat you," because there's just so many of them, and they all have so many different powers and stuff.
Yeah, you can tell like in the because this is the Ultimates is where this stems from a bit.
Yeah.
You can tell there's a little bit of that there, especially between Hank and Janet, because she does
Oh
that,
yes.
and then Hank's Janet or Hank's like, "Hey, that meat that you just like ripped off of him, like shrink down because that'll be a lot, and we can share it later." And she's like, "If anything, I'll shrink down and save it all for me later." And he's like, "What did you say, woman?" Like, there's that little bit of
Yes.
tension that they have, like in the normal,
Because if you don't know, in the original Marvel universe, there was one time where Hank Pym hit Janet Van Dyne and as Wasp or whatever, and it was very like, oh my god, in the 70s. And then in Ultimate Universe, they like stepped it up, where he was like, "You fucking bitch," and like
he was very beautiful.
he went after her he put on like his ant helmet and had ants like try to beat her and shit too. It was very like, what the fuck? So this is like that universe, even though it doesn't say it anywhere in it. It's just like that's supposed to be.
You could feel it a little. That's why I just thought it was interesting that they kept that.
Very true. Yeah. So now Magneto's bit, and he's gonna become a zombie, but he's not out for the count yet. I mean, he is, but he's not. Like, he's still trying to fight. But then he gets grabbed by like everybody, and Thor grabs him, and then Hulk comes in. And he's like, "No, Hulk is hungriest. Mutant man is Hulk food." And then he grabs him and rips off his leg.
Yeah.
So like you're just like, oh shit. For a second you think, oh, maybe he can like figure it out or get beamed up or something. No,
Nope.
no. Hulk literally rips his legs off and eats them. And then there's like a great panel. This is one of the best panels in this.
Exactly.
Or a page, I should say. You want to explain it, John?
It's just it's an awesome page, and like every it's made up into like I don't know.
I think
16
it's 16,
squares.
16 panels. Yeah.
Yeah, and each one is like a different character's like mouth, like chewing on like some kind of Magneto food.
Yeah.
And then like body parts being ripped and like intestines and like not really like super graphic per se.
Well, yeah, it's all like a kind of like a red film, like if it was black and white, but it's all red and black and white almost, So,
but yeah,
it's not super graphic.
This page is really fun and unique.
Yes, I like that page a lot. So then the best thing ever is they're all like afterwards, like, "Oh, I'm so full."
Magneto.
And then the best thing was, I guess because Hulk was satiated or something, he like transforms back into Banner, and then Banner's like, I don't know if I can handle all this food in me. Like, I felt my stomach burst when I transformed.
He ate like a Hulk size, and now he's back in Banner, and Banner's like, "Oh God, like this was too much food."
Yeah, this might have been a bad idea. I don't know about that. And then like, then they started like talking about like, oh, like obviously we can't die. Like, they didn't even know they couldn't die from like getting hit in the head because Captain America's like, "Look, my brain."
He's talking. He talks a little bit less,
a little bit.
A little bit, like he's like missing a word or two in his sentences, but like so there's a little difference. But in general, they're like, "Oh yeah, like that's weird. I have a steel beam that went through me, but I'm okay." And
yeah, and then also like, but like it seems like now that they've been satiated, they have like they have a second to actually think.
Yeah,
And like Peter Parker's like, oh my God, what have we become? You know?
I ate Aunt May.
Yeah.
And Mary
Oh yeah,
Jane.
that was super fucked up. Yeah, like he's like, oh my God, I ate Aunt May and Mary Jane. And like everybody was like, yeah, so what? I had to eat everybody too.
Yeah, we all ate someone we loved.
Yeah, and then like I love that Luke Cage is like, here we go again. Like when Peter Parker's like, I had to eat them. You don't understand. And then and then they try to like make Hulk mad again, or they try to make Banner mad, but like because he's full and he doesn't feel pain anymore because he's dead, like he can't get mad, and so they try to hit him with like a piece of rebar or whatever, and he doesn't get mad. He doesn't turn into Hulk, and then like just breaks his nose and his face up and everything. So
Yeah.
it's like they don't understand how their bodies work yet, but they're just like, they're just trying to like figure out their stuff, and they're talking to each other. So you get into like a fun example of like how they like the banter between them, and now that they're all zombies, and then someone goes like, or I think it's Luke Cage goes, "Hey, what was that?" And then, like, as he's saying that, you see, like, Bruce Banner's stomach exploding, like, from the inside out. And there's, like, Magneto leg poking out of him now or whatever, like a bone. And so, but everybody's ignoring that because, like, Luke Cage is like, something else flew out of the sky. Did you see that? And they're like, no, we didn't see anything. And then all of a sudden, Silver Surfer appears. And you're like, oh, that's awesome. Like, Silver Surfer, surely he's too powerful to get eaten by these people. And then the best thing is Ant-Man goes like, oh yeah, it is great that he's here. Yeah, more food. And then like Silver Surfer's like, huh? Like,
what's going on here?
Yeah. And so it's just funny because you're like, well, what's gonna happen? Because
Silver Surfer is the herald of Galactus, so he's usually when he appears, he's there for one reason.
Yeah, to be like, hey, Galactus is coming. But we'll find out.
But we'll find out.
Or will we?
Or will we?
We won't.
We won't. I kind of feel like only because I've read this and I remember. I just want to say in general.
Oh yeah.
You should definitely continue this story.
Yes.
Because
if you have any inkling in having this is like a fun fucking comic. So please, if you want to read a fun comic and you like Marvel characters, this is a great one to pick up.
The first trade is near perfect.
Yes, the volume 1 is pretty much the only one I've read. Yeah. I tried to read volume 2. I was kind of like, whatever.
I read 2 and 3. Two's
they're not written by Kirkman, I don't think.
No. So
the Kirkman one is like the best.
It is, and it's legitimately, it gets better and better, and you're just like, what? Like the more that things happen, you're just like, that's crazy. They can't do that. And then something happens. You're like, oh my God. And they do.
So it definitely ups the ante. And I think it's 6 issues long total. But it was really fun, really good series. And like came out of nowhere with, the guy that writes zombie comics that were like getting really big at the time. So it's perfect. It's perfect for like Halloween if you like fun, scary movies or whatever kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then also if you love all the Marvel movies, it's kind of funny to read this now too, knowing like their personalities and stuff from that.
Yeah.
What would you give this one?
So I got to say, I'm going to break down just a tiny bit. I would say if you read Ultimate Fantastic Four lead-in and this whole run, I would give it a 10. This would be one of my favorite comics.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for real.
That's
legit.
Cool. The 6 issues or the all 3 volumes or whatever?
The 6 issues.
Okay.
So because I know the backup story because I like that Ultimate Fantastic Four line. And the 6 issues of Marvel Zombies.
Yeah.
This first run, fantastic. I would give this one a 10 in general. The single issue, the way that you jump in and there's a little bit of like, what's going on? I would give just this one issue one off if you're just jumping in. Once you, as a good like starting point of like what's going on and grabbing, it's still freaking awesome.
Yeah.
And like it's jumping back in. I was like, oh man, this is cool. I'm sold. Like let's go on this journey. So just the one in general, I'm gonna give it 9 still.
Okay, no,
it's not perfect.
That's fine. It's pretty fucking good.
Yeah,
I mean, art wise, writing wise, it's fantastic.
Everything is good about it.
Everything's good about it. I'm even gonna say it's groundbreaking because it's one of the first like zombie things.
Yeah,
it's written by
DC. Didn't even do their own like zombie universe until more recently.
Yeah, the deceased stuff. Yeah, so. Basically, the DC deceased line that's going on now is basically them going, oh, shit, we're like 10 years behind on this whole thing, weren't we? So
they had some similar, like they did the Darkest Night run.
Yes, that's technically zombie-ish, or I guess, or
I
whatever.
guess.
But whatever.
Anyway, Marvel Zombies though.
Marvel Zombies. I will give it a. We'll call it an 8. We'll give it an 8. It is groundbreaking. It is good. It is solid writing. It is fun as fuck. I would highly recommend it for anybody, even if you haven't read Ultimate Fantastic Four.
You could still pick this up.
Yeah, you can still pick it up and have fun and go, okay. Like, they give you a little synopsis.
Yeah. It's the Marvel Universe and zombies.
Yes.
Let's do this.
Let's do it. All right, on that note, we'll see you guys next time.
On the next one.
Bye.